My name is Abby, and I have a coaching session coming up this week. And I would like to share with you how I prepare for my sessions so you, as a new coachee, can better understand it. The first thing I do is take a moment to assess how my life is going, where I might feel stuck, where I might have a big decision to make that I need a little bit more direction on or clarity. For instance, my last coaching session, I had a big promotion at work coming up, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to accept it for various reasons. And I was able to take that into my coaching session and find some better solutions and more direction. 99% of the time, I do have a specific topic that I know I want to discuss with my coach, and that has been really helpful. There have been a few times where all I have are positive and wins to talk about, and we discuss those and talk about how we can create more of those in my life and why they're wins and how that correlates with my value system. I know that my coach is not here to give me the answers to the things that I'm pondering in life, but she is able to help me pull the answers out of myself, which are already there, but just sometimes you need a little bit more guidance. If you're having trouble deciding on a topic for your session, here's my coach who will give you a few tips on how to select the best topic for your session.
Thanks, Abby, for that introduction. Yes, I do have some tips for people as they go into their sessions. And those tips I learned from having my own coach. What I appreciate about you and how you used that last session was you made a decision on whether you were going to take that promotion. Don't worry, I'll tell you later in this video if Abby did take the promotion. For now, let's look at why and how you can set yourself up for the best possible session. So there's some different ways to think about it. The first is situational. What's happening in your day? What's happened in your week? Maybe there was a moment where you had an interaction with a partner or with an employee or with your boss that you didn't really like how you showed up. Maybe you got reactive. Maybe the boss walked away in a way that you're now uncertain about your relationship. You're uncertain about what you talked about. That's a great topic to bring to your session so that we can unpack that and look at it and see where did you get triggered or where did you show up less than your full self? How did you get contracted or triggered or afraid? So the session allows you to explore that and to look at when I'm there again, how do I want to be? What's the choice I want to make? What are my core values that are going to bring me into a better place, a better way of showing up, and a better outcome? I used this throughout my executive career with my coach because I had a lot of direct reports. I had a lot of customers. I had many layers of learning, and how I showed up wasn't always the way I wanted to, and I wasn't my best self. So I kept practicing and using my coaching sessions as a way of identifying where I fell short of how I wanted to show up. I can't control the other person. I can only control me. And so that's where the change begins. As we say, it's an inside job. My second tip about preparing for your coaching session is generally I work with clients that have a leadership development plan. I'm working with leaders who are, whether they're a leader of themselves, a team, an organization, or an international company. What do they want to hone in on in that session that has to do with their plan? Now, they've designed that plan, and we've put together some action steps and the experience that they want to have. Sometimes what happens is you design action steps and you're not having the experience that you want to have of yourself. So you use your session to refine your plan and get in congruence with yourself in an authentic way, right? Because we can all lead from a place of, they call it the imposter syndrome, but I like to think of it more like when we have a mask on and we're not our true self. And so coaching and bringing your leadership development plan and where you are in that to your session allows you to refine and continue to practice and be more fully yourself as a leader out there in the world. A third way that you could look at using your coaching session is what I call the big transition. Sometimes you're working away, you've got a great career, a new company comes in and buys it, and their values aren't your values, and suddenly you have this clash. Other times it can just simply be you've done your job for so many years and you've done it so well that it's time to move on and let someone else move into your spot. So the big transition is a way of bringing that to your coaching session and look at it in incremental bites so that you can create what I call the segue. A segue is a seamless transition, and that requires intention, attention, and then manifesting that dream job that's next for you, that's going to be a step up for you in your expression as a leader and who you want to be in the world. Because if you're not learning, it's kind of boring. And learning and leading just changes the whole game. And that's really a great use for your coaching. I'm going to leave you with one more option for how you could use your coaching session. And that is, we are filled with a life of relationships, a relationship to ourselves, our boss, our mate, our children. Using your session to work on your relationship is really helpful. We aren't counselors, we're not therapists. However, what coaching can help you do is look out the front windshield and say, what's the relationship that I want to have? Do I want it to have more ease and calm, or do I want more spontaneity and fun? Do I want more understanding? And you bring those relationships that are of value to you in your life, and you unpack what's happening for you and look at the choices that you're making that may not be giving you the results or the relationship that you desire. So you can refine those and address them and look at ways where when you change, it's a ripple effect in your life. Your children start changing when suddenly you're more curious than judgmental or critical. Your relationship with your mate can go from you make me feel X and they go storming out the door to when you get critical, I feel really small, and I know that's not how you want me to feel. I know you want me to feel brave and resourceful. So we take accountability and we take our own feelings. We don't project them onto others. And so these are some things that show up in coaching sessions that are really helpful to be more fully yourself, to be more authentically you without trying to please others, but live in that truth for you. And speaking of relationships, there's also new relationships like the ones that Abby got to create as she accepted her promotion. Now I want you to take a look at Coaching Strong Leaders, where several of these leaders will tell you how they spent their coaching sessions and how coaching influenced their careers.